Okay, so welcome everyone. Settling now into a comfortable posture. Taking a long, slow, deep breath in and breathing out. Long, slow, deep breath in and breathing out. And another long, slow, deep breath in and breathing out. And if you haven't done so yet, allowing your eyes to close, bringing your attention inside. And with the next breath, bringing attention to the diaphragm as it draws the breath into the lungs themselves, receiving this oxygen that you breathe in, and saying thank you to the lungs. Thank you for your constant work, absorbing in the oxygen, fueling our body, taking a breath and saying to the lungs, thank you. The oxygen that you breathe in, a gift from the first suns at the beginning of time. The oxygen fueling your body right now, having been born in those early suns at the beginning of the universe. And saying thank you to Father Sun for this gift of life, of energy. That oxygen transferring across into the blood, being carried by the red blood cells. Saying thank you to the veins and arteries and the red blood cells. Thank you to your heart that beats with this regular rhythm, beating since the 6th week of your life, and carrying this oxygen-rich blood to every cell of your body. Saying thank you, heart. Thank you to the network of veins and arteries. And then also traveling through the blood flow, the white blood cells born from the marrow at the center of your bones. The immune system, white blood cells constantly seeking to protect you from harm and repair when you become ill. white blood cells that remember past infections and help protect you from repeat infections. The white blood cells that seek out and destroy cancerous cells and harmful cells in your body. And so saying thank you to the white blood cells that are always working to keep you safe. And thanking all the different organs in your body that all coordinate perfectly without any conscious control to maintain and sustain the health of this body. Even though we may not know where they are or what they do, recognizing that all these organs work perfectly together without any conscious control. And so saying thank you to the liver that filters our blood, detoxifies chemicals and stores energy, producing bile for digestion. Thank you, liver. The kidneys that remove waste and balance fluids and electrolytes, regulate blood pressure. Saying thank you to the kidneys. And the pancreas that aids digestion and regulates blood sugar by insulin and glucagon. Saying thank you to the pancreas. The spleen that filters blood and stores white blood cells and helps fight infections. Saying thank you to the spleen. And the appendix that stores a backup copy of our microbiome. Saying thank you to the appendix. The bladder that stores urine before its release. Saying thank you to the bladder. The skin that provides a protective barrier and temperature regulation and sensory input. Saying thank you to the skin. Then bringing attention to the mouth, teeth, and tongue, the start of the process of digestion, and saying thank you. Stomach, receiving the food and drink that you take in, starting the process of breaking down the food so that the nutrients can be absorbed, proteins being absorbed through the stomach into your body, and saying to the stomach, thank you for all your work. Then the food passing into the small intestine and the process of the body absorbing the stardust from your food, feeding itself with this stardust, beginning saying thank you to the microbiome inhabiting the small intestine that we inherited from our mother at birth. This bacteria that helps to digest and break down the food that we eat. 90% of the cells within this physical form belonging to these bacteria and other organisms that share this body with us. And so 10% of the cells in this physical form are human. As the title of one book puts it, we are 10% human. So saying thank you to this microbiome. Thank you for the process of digestion and for absorbing the stardust from our food into our body. This stardust that was born in an ancient sun at the beginning of time. The first suns burning in the emptiness of space, forging within them all the elements we see on the periodic table. Oxygen, iron, carbon, everything that goes towards creating this life, all being forged. When these suns exploded in a supernova at the end of their lives, clouds of gas and dust expanding into the emptiness of space. And then a new sun swirling into existence and a new earth taking birth. At first, a ball of molten lava floating in space, slowly, a crust forming, vapors from beneath the earth condensing, water falling as rain, forming the first oceans, meteors bringing ice frozen within them, expanding these oceans, and the first cell taking birth, plant life establishing itself in these early oceans, and then life being eager to explore itself, the plants reaching the edges of the ocean and moving on land, lichen and then moss covering the hard barren rock, eating down into it, turning it into soil with their roots. And as they did so, liberating the stardust within the rock to become food. So saying thank you for this process that continues now as we eat and digest and absorb the nutrients from the earth into our body. And then saying thank you to the different senses that allow us to know the universe. Saying thank you to the eyes, the universe knowing itself as sight, the nose, the universe knowing itself as scent. Thank you, nose, for this gift of smell. And the mouth, the universe knowing itself as flavor. Thank you, universe, for this gift of taste. And the ears, the universe knowing itself as sound. Saying thank you for this gift of hearing. And the whole tactile sensation through our skin. Thank you for this gift of touch. The universe knowing itself as contact. And then in Buddhism, the mind, the sixth sense, the universe knowing itself as thought, mind coming into contact with the objects of mind. And saying thank you for this gift of the universe knowing itself as thought and ideas. And thanking the different limbs. If any limbs are missing or impaired, remembering to thank your body for how it works with being differently abled. The arms and hands, fingers and thumbs. Saying thank you for how they lift, carry, hold, and embrace. Your legs, feet, and toes that allow you to walk, run, dance, and play. Saying thank you to your legs and feet. In this next area, if there's any difficulty coming here, staying with the legs a little longer, saying thank you to the genitals. Thank you for the pleasure they offer, for the chance of creating new life. For those with a womb, saying thank you to the womb. And then bringing your attention to the brain, saying thank you to the brain for coordinating all of this different information. The sound waves coming in through the ears that get turned into hearing. The light waves coming through the eyes that are turned into a three-dimensional virtual reality simulation by the brain. Thank you, brain, for helping to locate me within the world of sight and sound. Saying thank you to the brain for coordinating the different thoughts that arise as neurons fire together. And through the vagus nerve connecting to every organ in the body, sending information to and receiving information from each organ as the brain regulates this entire system. So thank you, brain, for all your work. And thanking the heart as a emotional organ, not simply a pump beating, but also a center for emotional intelligence. And the belly, not simply digesting, but also a center for our gut instinct, the first brain, intuitive, gut based knowing, saying thank you to this intelligence. And then saying thank you to the structure of your body, bones, ligaments, sinews, muscles, connective tissue. Diving deeper in and saying thank you to the body on the level of cells. The cells constantly renewing and regenerating as the body rebirths itself and regenerates itself. Every 7 years, a new body. So saying thank you to your cells. The DNA at the center of each cell carrying all the vital information needed to renew and refresh this part of your body. And then diving in deeper, where the body becomes the vibration of space and energy, the atoms that this body is made up of, having flown through so many other lives. Once the leg of a dinosaur, the wing of a giant dragonfly, molecules of water passing by Cleopatra's yacht. Saying thank you to the atoms in our body that we share with every life form that has gone before us and that we will pass on to new lives yet to come. So, sitting for a few minutes with this sense of gratitude for your whole body, this vibrating field of atoms, the universe knowing itself, feeding on the stardust of an ancient sun from the beginning of time. And so, sitting and saying thank you to your body in whatever way your gratitude shows up now. Simply appreciating and feeling gratitude for this flow of life, for this little part of the universe knowing itself. So, saying thank you to your body, thank you to this flow of life, and connecting again with your breath, this molecule of oxygen flowing into your body, born in that ancient sun at the beginning of time. And as you take a few breaths to close the practice, saying thank you for this gift of energy and vitality through the breath. And then bringing some movement to your fingers and toes, giving yourself a hug, and gently massaging down the sides of your face. And then when you're ready, slowly opening your eyes and bringing the practice to a close.